Hello, and this is a vid where I'm making an addendum to the Jason Rubin vid that I made so very long ago. Now, this addendum is being made for a variety of reasons, primarily because Jason Rubin has basically I figured out why this man basically couldn't turn around THQ, and why he was, in fact, why he's so damned angry at Nintendo. It came to me like a ray of light piercing a dense mist, and making things clear and easy to see afterwards. It's very simple. Jason Rubin does not live in the same world that the rest of us live in. As a matter of fact, he lives in some strange alternate universe where, we have the ability to mold reality by sheer willpower. And I'll tell you what I mean by that statement. Recently, Jason Rubin was asked on a panel on game trailers, I believe, which console manufacturer is doing okay. Now, anyone with half a brain can realize that Sony lost shitloads of money. I mean, shitloads of money on the PS3. The Xbox 360, well, the Xbox was never profitable to start with, okay? And it's been losing money every console generation. It's lost more money than it made, so it's not profitable. And as a business owner, I can tell you right now, if you have something that's not profitable and it's losing you huge amounts of money, if you own your own business, you might be able to get off with it if you can offset those losses with other things that are making you money. But if everything is losing money, that's not good. You need to trim those things that aren't making you making you money, that aren't making you profit or breaking even. So they were asked, who did he think was won last generation, the generation that ended with the arrival of the Xbox One and PS4. He said the Xbox 360. Now, first of all, I want to know what he's smoking. Okay? Because it's some good shit. Second of all, that is the most asinine and stupid thing I've ever heard before in my life. No. First of all, Xbox 360 didn't win last generation. It didn't. Sorry, it didn't. The Xbox 360 didn't win last console generation for 3 reasons. Neither did the PS3. But I'll tell you why the third alternative did win the last console generation. Now, the Xbox 360 didn't win last generation for, first of all, critical reasons. First of all, critically speaking, Microsoft didn't influence any other console manufacturer with their product. None. Okay? None. Okay? Sony wasn't desperately trying to create their own version of Live. They have PSN, which is, their online store, but they weren't desperately trying to create their own version of Live, which might have been to their detriment, because now they're doing it, but not at the time. Okay? Commercially, as I said, the Xbox brand has never made a profit. Okay? The original Xbox didn't make a profit. The Xbox 360 didn't make a profit. And possibly speaking, the Xbox One probably will not make a profit. But we don't talk about that because, how dare we disrespect Microsoft. And lastly, the Xbox 360 just in sheer sales didn't win jack shit last generation. Okay? Has anyone forgotten the Red Ring of Death? No, don't tell me you've forgotten how Microsoft gave people the runaround at first when people were saying these consoles are broken, I want you to replace it, and Microsoft had to pay billions of dollars to repair Xbox 360s. Remember that? Remember? Microsoft was in second place because the person they were directly racing against shot themselves in both feet. And that leads me to my second console manufacturer that did very poorly last generation, Sony. First of all, Sony released the most expensive console. Okay, they packed it full of technology, and people were like, how could Sony charge that much for a new console? It's quite easy. The thing you have to realize about the other members of the big three, Sony and Microsoft, is Microsoft is a software company at heart. Okay, they make software. Okay, that's all they really do. Yeah, I know Microsoft has their Surface and some hardware, but really they mostly do software, OS, that type of thing. Okay, operating system, software, Encarta, Office, Movie Maker, stuff like that. Software is where they make their money. Okay, they're programmers at heart. Okay. I wouldn't trust a programmer to do the job of an engineer, which is building shit to be useful. Okay, Sony is an electronics company. Okay, their business model, Microsoft's business model is with their entry into the console market is to foist their software onto you. Okay, they want Windows. I mean, why do you think Xbox One runs Windows 8? They're charging you for Windows 8. That's part of why the price tag is so fucking high on the Xbox One, because it uses a Windows 8 operating system. They're charging you for it, okay? They need that money. They need that cash, okay? So Sony, on the other hand, is an electronics company. They're hardware people, okay? I mean, there's a reason why Sony hasn't made a really successful IP that's emblematic of the Sony brand. They don't think like that. They're engineers. Engineers are not particularly creative. Okay, engineers are practical. They err on the side of either practicality or basically cutting edge. Okay, and the thing about engineers is that when they err on the side of cutting edge, it's expensive. Hence the PS3, okay? And back to my original points. First, the PS3 was too damned expensive. Secondly, the PS3 was incredibly very difficult to program for, and it had some issues. I mean, I recently upgraded my PS3. I got a 500 gigabyte model first that had GTA 5 bundled in with it, and like PSN for a year. And basically, I got that for like $269, $279, something like that. And when I got it home, it wasn't working. The shit was not working. So you know what I had to do? I had to take that console home. I mean, I had to take it back to GameStop, and I got it replaced with a 250 gigabyte bundle that came with Jack and Daxter. I kept GTA though, because Sony made a shitty product. But that's aside from the point. Sony made, but my point being is that I had to re-download all of my downloads from my old 60 gigabyte PS3 to my 500 gigabyte, and then eventually my 250 gigabyte. You know what I discovered? The PlayStation 3 was supposed to be the most powerful of the next gen systems back in the 7th gen, but all of them, I mean, downloading things on the PSN and installing things, it can only do one thing at a time. It leads to a major bottleneck. It's very inefficient. I don't know. No wonder they fired the guy who designed the PS3 and got Mark Kearney. But that leads me to my third point. PS3, not only was it too damned expensive, and not only was it damned expensive, damned difficult to program for, the PS3 just, it really had some issues, you know. It had some major issues with marketing and, you know, the arrogance of Sony, because they were arrogant. Sony was very, very arrogant, okay? Now that leads me, and basically they shot themselves in the foot, and then not only did they shoot themselves in the upper part of the foot, they sat down and drove nails into their heels, and then that's why they were in third place last gen. That leads us to the winner of last gen, the real winner, unlike what Jason Rubin said, because he's an idiot. The Wii. Now Nintendo came out with the weakest console, which was basically built off the GameCube architecture. But here's the thing that people won't tell you about the GameCube. The GameCube in the 6th gen was actually the most powerful of all the consoles that were around at that time. It was more powerful than the PS2, it was more powerful than the Xbox. And while it didn't dominate the market, Nintendo made a profit off of it. So the fact that they built the Wii off of the GameCube architecture isn't a bad thing at all. It means you had a very powerful little system that played some dynamite games. And if you don't believe me, take any of your Wii U, the classical Nintendo first party or second party or even exclusive third party games, and play them on the Wii U, and those games still look damn good. I mean, they will look damn good till they will stand the test of time and look damn good. Like Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, you know, these games look damn good. But that's aside from the point. The Wii U won last gen handily. They had the most sales, okay? They had the critical acclaim because guess what? Who the fuck? Sony and Microsoft desperately wanted to add motion controls to their fucking systems, not vice versa with Nintendo trying to catch up to their shitty offerings. And sales-wise, I mean, commercially it made money for Nintendo. Sales-wise, it destroyed the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. With both of its hands tied behind its back and its legs bound, it still kicked their asses. So that tells you something. But back to my original point, to the person who this rant is based off of. Jason Rubin says that Xbox 360 won last gen, and that's why your company folded with you at the helm, because you have no acknowledgement of reality, okay? You're like these Western third-party companies that refuse to put something on the 3DS. Even though if you put something on the 3DS and it's a quality game, you'll make money off of it. Are you fucking retarded? I mean, THQ should have had more games. THQ made a shitload of money with U-Draw off of the Wii. Then their dumbasses tried to put the shit on other consoles that didn't have the audience for it because they're idiots. Okay, we have to acknowledge that reality exists and that, you know, certain things happen, and you know, we have to acknowledge that these things affect us. Okay, just because I wish I could fly doesn't mean that gravity has ceased to exist. Okay? I live in the DC metropolitan area, and I have friends who are African American like myself and love the Redskins. Well, that's fine and dandy for them, but guess what? The Redskins were the last team in the NFL to integrate, and the very name Redskin is a pejorative term used to describe a Native American. You know, And to see a black person say, "I love the Redskins," is the equivalent. Well, you know, why don't we have the New York N words or the Connecticut K words, which is a pejorative word to describe Jewish people? I mean, or how about the Kalamazoo C words used to describe it's a pejorative used to describe a woman's female genitals. So no. Just because we want it so does not change reality. Okay? But Jason Rubin, living in that bubble, no wonder your company failed. You can't see the writing on the wall. This video goes to you, Jason Rubin, an idiot.